The recent reveal and bombastic beta for Battlefield 6 shook up the first-person shooter multiplayer scene and, more importantly, proved a few things to the world. First, the Battlefield series still has legs behind it, and can potentially learn from its many missteps with Battlefield 1 and 2042. Second, there were a lot of eyes on the game, and I mean a lot of eyes. I know these numbers are just players checking out a free beta, but seeing this much interest in the game is a great sign. And finally, third, we learned that some of the more prominent creators have a lot of opinions on this game. Both Battlefield veterans and Call of Duty refugees took to their streams or videos with a lot to say about the game. So today, let's take some time and discuss this whole Black Ops 7 vs Battlefield 6 thing, CoD streamers, and if this game really needs a battle royale mode to be successful. Let's dive in. So first, let's lay some groundwork and talk about my view on the whole debate between Battlefield and Black Ops 7.
Man, we are really out here having debates about which series is better on the internet again. Battlefield or Call of Duty? What year is it?
I've spent a lot of time on both franchises, but I admittedly have played more Call of Duty games. So you would think that would be where my loyalty lies with CoD. Unfortunately for Activision, that couldn't be further from the truth. Franchise fatigue and burnout have done irreparable damage to the Call of Duty series, but that aside, looking at the gameplay reveal for Black Ops 7 compared to what we had in the BF6 beta is night and day. To me, Battlefield looks like a more intriguing, entertaining, and ultimately fun game for me to check out, so I am leaning towards it. If you personally think that Black Ops 7 looks like something you would enjoy more, all the more power to you. Different tastes for different people, and that's one of the great things about having multiple games out there. We can have competition, they can push each other to be better, it's a win-win for the consumer. I'm actually adding this part of the video in after editing because it has become such a big topic of conversation, but I would be remiss if I did not at least touch on movement. The Battlefield devs have gotten into some hot water by announcing they are nerfing the movement in the game. All the movement players who are snorting G Fuel off their mom's coffee table are a little upsetty spaghetti about the lack of movement that seems to be kind of the direction Battlefield 6 is going in. To them, I have to say, not every game needs to have movement mechanics. Not every game needs to have you dolphin diving or doing some crazy movement tech. If you need something like that to stay engaged in the game or just to feel like you're expressing your skill, there are plenty of games out there that you can play and enjoy and really flex those muscles. Hell, Black Ops 7 may be more of your thing as they have updated Omni movement to include things like wall kicks. I guess at the end of the day, my view is not every game needs to feel the same, not every game needs to have every single mechanic, and no, I do not feel like the Battlefield franchise needs to have movement added to make the game successful. But that's just my opinion. With all of that said, let's get back to the rest of the video. Next, I wanted to take some time to talk with you about the invasion of the Call of Duty streamers. During the beta, we had a handful of people we normally associate with Warzone or Call of Duty check out Battlefield 6 and what it has to offer. With the big ones I can remember people talking about being Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, and FaZe Swag. As live streaming content creators are known to do, these guys dove into the game and gave a lot of opinions on it, which has since then kind of whipped everyone into a tizzy. Now I want to preface this by saying that I have watched each of these guys and enjoy what they do. Tim the Tatman especially is a go-to of mine when I need some mindless background noise while editing a video. But people really took offense to the fact that they were talking about certain things with the game, mainly in two different areas. Number one, they were stating that Battlefield needs a battle royale mode to be successful. And number two, they were stating that the game should feel more like Call of Duty. I want to really dive into that first point more in a moment here and give my thoughts on everything, but just quickly in respect to streamers asking for a BR mode, yeah, of course they want a new BR. Warzone has slowed down significantly. Their audience isn't really here for that or Fortnite anymore. It is in the streamer's best interest that Battlefield 6 has a new BR mode for them to play and check out and show off to their audience, not necessarily in the game's best interest, and I feel like that's where some of these streamers are getting confused. We'll talk about that more in a second, but quickly, with regards to the game needing to feel more like Call of Duty, or with swag asking for kill streaks to be added to the game, guys, take it with a grain of salt. CoD is what these guys know. Of course, it's going to be the measuring stick that they compare a new game to, or the lens that they try to look at any new game with. At the end of the day, I'm just personally disregarding any opinion I hear that I don't agree with. I don't like to give somebody's view more weight just because they are a pro gamer, even one that I like. I don't think that there's any harm necessarily in Call of Duty streamers playing the game or even just giving their opinion. Even though I do not agree with their takes, we don't need kill streaks in Battlefield. The only way that any of this could be an issue is if for some reason the devs lose their minds and start trying to force Battlefield into a Warzone-shaped hole. And I really don't think they're gonna do that. I know for some people, having an outside group come into your game and try to change it can feel threatening. Like the game you loved will be altered based on someone who will only be here to play it for a few weeks while the viewership is good on their stream. And it definitely has happened in the past with other games, so I'm not trying to say it never happens. I just don't see this particular franchise going down that same path. Even though I'm sure that there will be some things changed by the time that the game launches to bring in new players. That is the reality, in my opinion, that old school Battlefield fans need to accept. Things will be updated to bring in a new audience. Catering to people who have carried your series for years is very important. You want to keep those fans happy. But I think it's equally important to keep a supply of fresh players coming into your game if you want it to continue to be successful. I believe the Battlefield devs know this, and I expect them to move forward carefully so they don't compromise the game's identity.
Or, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they sell out and completely ruin the game. If they do, I will be the first to admit I was wrong.
Real quick though, let's double back to that first point I made about Battlefield needing a BR mode. Now it's finally time to get down to brass tacks and discuss the main purpose of this video. Battlefield's need for a BR mode. We know we're getting one with the launch of the game, but does Battlefield need a Battle Royale mode to be successful? As someone who has played previous Battlefield games and someone who plays a lot of BR games today, I have to say, no, I do not think that Battlefield needs a BR to be successful. This franchise has and always will have a strong identity that brings players back time and time again, independent of any one game mode or trend. And so long as they cater to that, they will be successful. But, and this is a huge BBL-sized but, as long as a BR can be developed without draining too many resources from the game, and the devs don't start altering the identity of the DNA of what makes Battlefield Battlefield to cater to Warzone streamers, I don't see why they shouldn't give it a shot. To me, it seems like a no-brainer to at least attempt to put a Battle Royale in the game at this point in time. Previously, Battlefield tried to dip its toes into the latest shooter craze with Firestorm, but that game mode left a lot of players wanting. I would love to see this current dev team's take on a new updated Battlefield BR that has learned not only from their own past mistakes, but from what other games have done well and succeeded with recently. But did you notice the key, most important part of that statement? I don't want a BR forced into Battlefield or tacked on to the game. I want a Battlefield BR, catering first and foremost to the gameplay, classes, and overall identity of what this series is. That will not only keep current fans happy, but also help to set this BR apart from everything else on the market right now. Any attempt to try and chase trends with faster movement, arcadey feeling weapons, silly cosmetics, glider suits, miss me with all that. I don't want Battlefield dressed up as Warzone. I want to see what these devs can do if they really sit down, put their minds to it, and dig deep. The potential for a Battlefield BR, not just a BR in a Battlefield game, is really exciting to me, and I think it would be really enjoyable for a lot of players if they can pull it off correctly. At the end of the day, it is clear we are getting some sort of BR with Battlefield 6. All we can do is hope for the best, give it a shot, and if you enjoy it, great. If not, there will be a whole host of other game modes to check out, which is why I don't think that the overall success of Battlefield 6 hinges on a BR mode. If they are able to pull it off, if they are able to develop it without taking too many resources from the rest of the game, it can really push this game into the next stratosphere of success. But it is not 100% necessary, it is not required for this game to do well. You can always check out all the other amazing game modes that Battlefield always offers, or hell, you can even give Black Ops 7 a shot if you're feeling it. If you like Call of Duty, if you're excited about all the new movement options they're giving, don't let me rain on your parade. Play whatever you enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on Battlefield 6? Are you picking up the game? Look into your crystal ball and tell me, will the BR mode be peak or will it flop? And while you're down there joining in on the discussion, make sure to sub if you have not already. We are trying to reach 2K subs on the channel by the end of the year, and any and all help with that would be greatly appreciated. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'm Haunted House, and remember to eat well, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and those around you. And I'll see you in the next one, friends.